Hello, and welcome to Sloths Love to Read. This is Carrie Ann. Today we have an amazing story called The Sea Chest, which is based upon a true story. This book is by Toni Buzzeo. I hope you will enjoy this wonderful story. Let's get started. The Sea Chest by Toni Buzzeo. City lights flicker in the dusk like winking fireflies. I hold my Auntie Meta's papery hand. Together we stare at the shiny photo in her lap, touched so often with hope, the edges curl. My heartbeat rushes in an impatient waltz as we watch for the stranger to arrive. While we wait, Auntie Meta remembers her childhood on a rocky Maine island 80 years ago and more, only child of the lighthouse keeper and his bride. She gazes out the window as she tells me the story. I was a solitary child, alone on Hallie's Head Light for all my first 10 years, with just my mama to teach me reading and just my papa to spin stories of the boundless world beyond the rocks of Sanctuary Island. I longed for a time I might not be the only child the craggy island knew. Spring mornings found me scrambling beneath the porch, robbing the brooding hens of their tawny eggs. I circled double-yolked days in yellow on the feed calendar above the Davenport. Supply boat days were double blue stars with their promise of news, fellowship, and sugar to sweeten summer tea. When pumpkins burned orange in the only garden plot the rocky island held, first days of homeschool were boxed in red. But when frost grew thick in winter, I huddled all day by the fire. Cloaked in Mama's hand-stitched quilts, I left the calendar for warmer days and braided solitary stories. One icy night, howling winds blew towering waves against the shore. My papa worried for all the ships upon the sea, ships in danger of faltering on the rocks and sinking into the stormy deep. And when he spotted such a vessel out beyond his reach, Papa could do no more for the schooner ship nor crew that burned the light behind the Fresnel lens. In the frozen dark, the wind shrieked as wave upon colossal wave hurled against our rocky shore, tossing up a churning foam that battered the parlor windows and trapped the reflection of firelight upon the fragile panes. They rattled and banged until I cried and prayed they'd not crack in two, freeing the waves to wash us out to sea. All the long night, Mama and I curled up against that fearsome storm, while Papa made the perilous trip to and from the square light tower. We slept not a dream's worth of sleep through all those blustery hours, fretting for the ship we could not see. At dawn, the wind blew itself out and the storm rolled back across a glassy sea. Papa set off to scout the shore, and I went along as company, hoping for bits of sea glass to fill my windowsill jar. I clung to Papa's hand in the streaky light while we slid down to the farthest rocks. As we drew near the shore, we saw a sodden bundle of eider-down mattresses tied with sailors' knots. It lay heaped upon the rocks, washed up from the schooner. The storm must have swallowed in the night. Our eyes locked wide when we heard the tiniest cry from deep inside the padding. I guessed at a kitten and held the wish close to my heart. Squatting beside Papa, I plucked and pulled with him at the ragged ends of the icy rope, our fingers purple without our gloves, our breath painting clouds of white in the morning air. When at last the rope came free and the mattresses unfolded to reveal a leather sea chest, again I heard the meow, and my heart soared with hope, like the gulls reeling overhead, breaking the morning silence with their hunger. Papa lifted the latch and lid, and I curled my fingers tight. The frozen hinges squeaked their resistance, then suddenly and slowly opened wide. We stared down not at a squalling kitten, but into the face of a small stranger, more purple than my fingers from her cry and the cold. My heart pushed hard against my ribs as Papa lifted the baby, wrapped only in a quilt, into his arms. My breath caught hard when he tucked her inside my coat. My arms enfolded her as I hummed a cradle song. She waved a note tied to her fragile wrist. We commit this child into the hands of God. May he save her. Captain and Mrs. Donald Warren. Papa read the note aloud and shook his head. To think, he said, these desperate parents loved their baby so much they were willing to cast her upon the sea. Tears rolled down my frozen cheeks as I nestled her close. There upon the rocks I named her Seaborn, then carried her home to be my sister. That sun-bright morning, Mama covered Seaborn's head with kisses as we held her by the fire, warming her from without and within. Through that frosty winter and on into feathery spring, alight with purple fetch and yellow buttercup, my sister slept inside the sea chest until at last she grew too big. Then Papa built a trundle all her own to tuck beneath my own tall bed. I taught her how to gently probe for eggs in the dimness under the porch. We took turns circling double yoke days and made a game of watching for the supply boat from the gallery deck. When the pumpkins ripened on the vine in sunburnt autumn, we carried them across the island and baked pumpkin pies with Mama. I taught her reading as she grew, and together we spun stories of the family living safe and sheltered above the rocks of Sanctuary Island. I spent my days and all the years of childhood with her, your great-grandmother, and my only sister, Seaborn. And when I left our island behind to become a bride, she soon followed me to this green mainland married, and lived close by until we buried her last spring, leaving me an only child again. Auntie Meta grows silent, and now I pause to remember my great-grandmother's whispery voice, sharing her stories of 2 island girls. But my dancing heart can't be still for long. Tripping wildly, it beats out a waiting rhythm. Behind me, great-grandmother Seaborn's oldest possession, a cracked and worn sea chest lined with an eider-down quilt, waits open upon the table. For the tiny stranger my Mama and Papa have gone to fetch, from so far across the wide Atlantic to be my sister. And here's an author's note at the end. Although the sea chest is a fictional story, the sanctuary island, a fictional island, there is a legend about a severe storm in the Atlantic in the mid-1870s that wrecked a vessel off the coast of Southport Island, Maine. According to the story, the Hendricks head lightkeeper was unable to do anything for the vessel due to the ferocity of the storm. Afterward, he found a bundle of feather mattresses washed ashore. Inside was a sea chest holding a baby girl and a note from her parents, the captain and his wife committing the child into God's hands. The story says that the keeper and his wife had recently lost their own child and that they adopted the baby, named her Seaborn, and raised her as their only child. However, no mention of the child exists in the lighthouse log of the time. Local historians believe the legend arose from a 1900 circa Munn novel entitled Uncle Terry. The story was perpetuated in Edward R. Snow's Famous Lighthouses of New England. Oh, what a wonderful story. I love this story so much. The Sea Chest by Toni Buzzeo. I highly recommend this book. The illustrations are absolutely wonderful. I absolutely love the story, how they saved the little baby that had come from the shipwreck off of that island during a terrible storm. I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful story today, and thank you so much for listening in. Bye-bye for now, everyone.